This is a World Cup special ahead of England against Panama in New Jersey. This is our regular Let's Talk Football with our London guest, Rob Shepherd. Rob, you're very welcome back to Let's Talk
Hi.
Football.
Hi, how you doing?
Saturday night, England against Panama, as we say, in New Jersey. Big game for England after the scoreless draw against Ghana. But we're going to start first, I believe, with a little quiz question.
Yeah, I bought Big Jock and Bobby a book, Giraffes, Between Games Needed Jenna. And Bobby's come up with this question. What milestone will England goalkeeper Jordan Pickford reach against Panama on Saturday? A very significant milestone.
Well, let's come back to Bobby with that at the end of our little chat today, but let's see what that's all about. You're assuming, of course, that Pickford is going to start before he gets...
I think he'll start. Don't worry about that. I bet you can't even name the blooming reserve goalkeepers, can you?
No, before he
Not
gets...
many people can. I'll just say it's Trafford and Henderson. Trafford, who only played 4 games for Man City last season. Yeah.
And I think Carl Rushworth is waiting in the wings somewhere to be a future England goalkeeper, but that's a story for another day. Back to tonight. Do England have to win tonight?
Well, they don't have to win in terms of progressing in the tournament, but in terms of the belief, the confidence, and the will of the nation and the national vibe, yes, they've got to win. And they've got to win with a bit of pizzazz as well. It's Panama. It won't be as easy as some people think, even though it feels like a early season Carabao Cup tie, quite honestly, after 2, matches opening the World Cup. England are through. Obviously, though, it will depend on what route they get. And so they did need to win, and I expect them to win. Certainly the country does, but also to put on a performance.
We've seen Jude Bellingham come back into the England setup. We've seen him start both World Cup games to date. Does he deserve to start against Panama?
In my view, no. There's been a lot of debate over the last 6 months about Bellingham. Should he be ahead of Morgan Rogers? Bellingham's got the nod on that front. And don't forget, Cole Palmer and Phil Foden have been left behind. And certainly in Palmer's exclusion from the squad could come back to bite England. But we'll talk about that another time. What we're talking about now is Bellingham. I leave him out. But I don't bring Rogers in. I bring Ollie Watkins in. England need to play with 2 men up front in this game to basically see how well that functions. It was crying out to change the system, not just players for players. Bellingham came off. He took it okay. But England, Tuchel just made like-for-like substitutions. Kane was being tied up by a superbly dogged defence who in front of them had Partey, who had a magnificent game, one has to be said, in difficult circumstances for them. And there just weren't enough options up front. There was a lack of crossing, but I want to see another striker up front. I want to see Watkins start, and that means Bellingham left on the bench. It doesn't mean he's bombed out for the rest of the tournament, but it will give him something to ponder, and it will show England a different way to unlock the opposition.
You mentioned Cole Palmer. He's back in England. I mean, he's as close to this World Cup as Carlton Palmer.
Well, indeed. I mean, it's ironic. He's one of 2 world players that appear with... Cole Palmer, you just made me laugh. Oh, goodness me. Those were the days, eh? Carlton. Cole Palmer is in the Madonna video, the World Cup video, but he's nowhere near this squad. Already you're getting people saying he should have gone. Yeah, I mean, there's a strong argument he deserved to go. I understand why Tuchel didn't take 4 number 10s. Possibly Palmer should be there. He's not. Rogers got the nod over him. If Bellingham's left out, it would look normal. It would look logical to play Rogers. But I emphasise again, it's a bit bizarre. Tuchel comes in as a new manager. The man that's going to be very decisive at tournaments, or this tournament. And yes, he made a very good half-time address against Croatia and got the players going. But tactically, it's pretty much the same as Southgate. It's the same shape. and a lack of changing the shape when as the game's unfolding. When you're 0-0 down, you're struggling against a team that parked the bus. Surely it's obvious that you go and put another striker on. And he's got two choices. He took two extra strikers. Watkins had a tremendous end to the season with Aston Villa. Tony, he's played in Saudi Arabia. He's going to be fresh. He knows how to score goals. Give Kane some support. Leave Bellingham out.
I loved the way you said when you're 0-0 down. I mean, it must feel like you're behind when you're 0-0 down against a team like Ghana, or indeed if they're 0-0 tonight against Panama. Yeah. Harry Kane scored twice against Croatia. You've spoken about him already. He is going to start. There's no doubt about that. But he missed a sitter against Ghana. Is he really up there with the best English strikers?
Yeah, I apologise for that little bit of blatant English arrogance there. Obviously, 0-0 down. Dear, oh dear. Oh, yes, he is. Statistically, he's way out there as England's top goal scorer with 81 goals. It was long past Rooney, it was 53. It was many, many years that Bobby Charlton was on 49. Lineker got close with 48. The other striker that you would say, if you put who's England's greatest all-time striker, you'd probably say Kane, Greaves, Lineker, or Shearer because of his influence. Shearer actually only got 30 goals, but Euro 96, he was fantastic. Jimmy Greaves got 44 goals in 77 games. I saw the back end of his career. I met him many times. My dad saw him play. I was told how good he was by so many people in the game. Purely as a player, Jimmy Greaves, the best striker England's ever had. But overall, in terms of contribution to England at tournaments and goal delivery, I say that's Greaves as a player, as a natural player. But throw everything into the pot, Harry Kane. And he's now level on goals at the World Cup finals with Gary Lineker with 10. If he scores against Panama, which I expect him to do, then it becomes England's leading goal scorer at World Cup final tournaments as well. So, yeah, in the pantheon of great England strikers, Harry Kane is number one.
And just in terms of the opposition tonight, Panama will be difficult to break down. The low block will be there. I mean, we're looking at Saka's injury. We're looking at him potentially coming back. Would you start Saka tonight?
I would start him tonight. I would like to. He certainly made a difference when he came on. He's got more of a trick than Noni. He produced a terrific cross late on, which O'Reilly headed against the bar, and Kane fluffed the rebound, as you mentioned. Normally, you would expect him to score. And England have got to get more crosses in. Saka has proved for Arsenal consistently, and England. He's a player that can provide so many opportunities. Although I have to say there remains a question mark about his ability to form in the big games, delivering the big games. But I want to see him back. And if England are going to progress, he's got to be fit now. We can't keep waiting for him. So I put him in the starting lineup. I'd also like to see, you're talking about wingers, I'd like to see Gordon dropped. He's had 2 games that Barcelona must be worried that ink has gone dry on the contract that they signed him for 70 million. And I'd like to see Rashford start. On the occasions he's come on, has looked very lively and sharp, and he knows how to finish.
In terms then at the other end of the pitch, Pickford, my view that he's an excellent waiting to happen. But defensively, John Stones didn't start against Ghana. You think he will start tonight?
I think he should start tonight. One of the problems, I can see why he was left out. Maybe there's been carrying an injury, but the thing that that John Stones offers that Konsa doesn't is the ability to move into the midfield comfortably, pass the ball around and open up the opposition, particularly when a team's playing a low block. You need a centre-half to step out like Bobby Moore did, or Rio Ferdinand did on several occasions. Mark Wright did it very effectively in Italia 90. John Stones, this is his fourth World Cup, actually. He's an experienced player now. There's question marks about his pace if a team's on the breakaway, but Gay next to him, I think that's okay. So I'd bring Stones back, yeah.
And finally, Rob, before we get the answer to the quiz from Bobby, your prediction for this game?
My prediction is that Panama will make it difficult. England need to get on the front foot earlier on, take a few more risks. As I'm saying, I want another man to see another man up front, get crosses in sooner. It might well be that Bellingham plays in that and as a blinder, but as I say, I'd like to see him on the bench and Watkins and Kane start. Ultimately, I'm going for an England win. I think it still could be a little bit frustrating at times, but I'm going England 2, Panama 0.
And very finally for Bobby, would you ask him, what is the landmark milestone that awaits Mr. Pickford against Panama tonight?
He will be making his 15th appearance in World Cup finals, which puts him above every other England player all time, except for one, which is Peter Shilton. Peter Shilton is the all-time England appearance maker at World Cup finals with 17, but against Panama, Pickford will bounce above Terry Butcher, Bobby Charlton, Bobby Moore, and Ashley Cole, who are all on 14. And so he will be within reach of this tournament of becoming England's all-time World Cup appearance maker, providing England...
He doesn't get sent off.
You were so closely right. Quite frankly, England were lucky to escape that situation, and indeed won with Konsa and the penalty. And I take your point, but I suspect him that you have to go with him. He's consistently been England's best goalkeeper, and as I said at the start, there isn't really a viable alternative. Quite frankly, it's Trafford and Henderson. You can't thrust them in at this stage. It would be like Peter Bonetti all over again, 1970.
And in defence of Mr. Pickford, I did hear, as I said the other day, Joe Hart say that this ball is causing problems for goalkeepers of all levels and from all countries. So we will give him some slack on that one. Rob Shepherd, as always, thank you for your considered opinion. We look forward to England against Panama live from New Jersey on Saturday night, and we wish you well.